Greetings everyone, welcome to Chess Advanced. This game was played in Clutch Legends and now this is a game from day 3. This is the first Blitz game, so this is going to be absolutely epic because there is nothing to lose for in this position. Even if Vishy Sir wins all the rest of the games, he still won't be able to equalize the score. So there is nothing to lose, so he can absolutely play freely. So let's see what happens here. So without further ado, let's start with this game. Vishy Sir starts with c4. We have b6, d4 and e6. Knight to g3 now, bishop to b7 and just f3. f5 now, and you can here just knight to c3 was played, bishop to b4, and you can immediately strike in the center with e4. But the thing is that that's a pawn sacrifice, and will it be worth it or not? Let's see. Here e4 was played. If you go for e4, then just f captures, bishop to g5 now, and after rook to c8 you play queen to c1, and after castles a3, pushing the bishop back, but most likely you'll trade bishop captures, and queen to c6. But after bishop to e2, you can see that those rook pays and queen and everything that's been eyeing is just a lot, and I don't think so you would want to go for it. Even the pawn sacrifice is just not worth it. So here after bishop to b4 we have e3, not pushing it all the way. Knight to g6, we have bishop to e2, castles, and bishop caps on c3, b captures, d6 now, bishop to d3, and just knight to c6. Now just going for f4, and you could have gone for a move like e4 in this position again, and this time it would work a lot better than it did the last time, because after f captures you play knight captures on e4, h6, bishop to e3, knight c to e7, and after knight to g3 you play knight to h4, and it looks like everything is just looking really amazingly. Maybe somewhere along the line you can sacrifice the knight. Rook is also eyeing this, but that could happen. If you go for queen to c1 in this position, you have this amazing move, sacrificing a piece. Bishop captures on f3, and after g captures you play knight captures on f3, and after king to h1, yes, getting under the guise of the queen's eye, and there is nothing you can do. Even if you go for knight to e1 check, d5 comes, knight caps on d3, rook captures, still the position is, it's a little bit better for white, but still the position is completely locked in. So all of this could be happening, all of this could have happened, but after knight to c6 just f4 was played, not going for all this madness. Knight to a5, we have d5, e captures, bishop captures, and just going for this knight caps on c4. Now queen to b1, and finally going for this rook d to e8, just targeting that weak backwards pawn. We have bishop caps on g6, h captures, and immediately queen captures, jumping in with the queen. Now knight to h5 is coming in the position, queen to d8 was played, and knight to h5. And now queen to d7, just trying to defend that, but here just f5 would have been really strong, because if you go for knight to e5 in this position, queen to g5, bishop to a6 comes, and now you can play c4, just completely shutting it off. And if you go for bishop captures on c4, just pawn grabbing, here just rook to f4, and knight to d3, rook to g4, rook caps on f5, queen caps on g7, queen captures, rook captures. Still, I mean, just looks really decent, but the thing is that knight is under attack, and that rook is going to be under attack soon, and the other rook is not into the attack. So even if you go for all of this, still it won't be good enough. But what happened in the game was really good enough, because here knight to h5, queen to e7 came, but here just f5, and now queen to f7 was played, asking for a queen trade. If you trade queens here, your position just is completely worse. You've sacrificed so much material, your pawn structure is completely shattered. If you don't go for the attack, there is nothing that you can do. So here queen to g5, not allowing the queens to be traded, rook to e5, rook to d4, and now just comes queen to e7, asking for a queen trade again, but queen to g6, obviously you don't want to trade. Queen to f7, now queen to g4, but here bishop to c8 was played. If you go for a move like c5 in this position, which seems like a decent move, you want to kick the rook away, and there is not many squares that the rook can go to, so rook d to f4 would make a lot of sense. Bishop to c8, now you play rook to f3, g6, and just knight to g3. Trading it won't help, because obviously you cannot, but even if the king wasn't on the other side of the board, still trading it would not have helped. A queen to g7, and now maybe you can trade it, but here just queen caps on g6, queen captures, f captures, rook e to e8, and still you can trade everything, and maybe you can go into an endgame, but still I would be up a pawn. So let's see how that would have gone, but still white is the one better, white is the one pushing, and maybe Vishy would have won this game. But after queen to g4, we have bishop to c8, and now just comes rook d to f4, c5 now, just playing the same moves but in a different order, and here queen to g5 was played. If you go for queen to h4 in this position, just trying to keep the tension, here rook caps on f5 and everything gets traded off. You definitely don't want that. Rook captures, bishop captures, and there is a very nice line that starts with e4, and if you go for d captures in this position, then just comes knight captures on g7, a beautiful move, because here if you go for queen captures, then comes bishop to h6 attacking the queen, and if queen to h7 in this position, your position just completely falls apart. Queen to g5 check, king to h8, bishop captures on h8, f8, and in this position there is no attack that's happening, and most likely this position would be won. But you could go for, after bishop captures, just go for queen to g6 in this position after bishop captures, but after bishop captures on f8, king captures, most likely your position would crumble again, because after queen captures on e4, you can understand that you cannot capture because this is pinned, and now I'm threatening to pick up the bishop, I'm threatening to pick up the knight, and you cannot defend everything in this position, and that's the problem. But the move that you want to play after bishop captures on f8 is knight to e3, and knight to e3 is a crazy move. Rook to f2 is the only defense because you don't want to get checkmated. Knight to g4, bishop captures on d6. Most likely this game ends in a draw after a chaotic round. So all of this was in the position, and both players are now on 19 to 20 seconds, so good luck calculating that, all of these things. So here after c5, queen to g5 was played. Again, not trading queens but still keeping the pressure intact. We have queen to e7, and queen to e7 was the blunder that did it all, and Vishy sir, in the style of Tal in this position, goes for a beautiful sacrifice, an absolutely amazing sacrifice. So I'm going to ask you to pause the video and try and find out the only winning move in this position, which completely crushes an insane attacker. We have Garry Kasparov. I mean, an absolute, almost one of the best players that's ever been. So you want to crush him, well, you're going to find this move. So have at it. So congratulations to everyone who's able to find this move. The move is f6, sacrificing an entire queen. And I mean, what do you do other than capturing it? Well, if you capture it, then just comes f caps on e7, and now that pawn is almost about to queen. What do you do in this position? Here rook caps on f4 was played, but unfortunately e8 queen comes, and it was on this move, on just move 27, that the one of the best players of all time, Garry Kasparov, resigned the game, and Vishy sir finally got the spectacular victory. On the first day, he had many chances, even in one of the games. I mean, Garry apologized to him because he was in a completely winning position, would have equalized the score right there and then, and that would have been a great boost to his confidence. And I think the situation would be very different from what actually happened, but still he was not able to capitalize on it. And then even on day 2 he had many chances, but he was not able to do that well. Day 3, well, finally the time came. If it had happened a lot back then the situation would have been very different, and definitely Vishy sir was the favorite going into all of these tournaments, but it didn't work out the way it was supposed to. But it's absolutely fine, because sometimes it's better to let go and say that it was not your day, rather than to completely have recurring thoughts about it. So this was the first victory that Vishy sir was able to get over Garry, and he did it in absolute style. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'll be coming back with such amazing games, so stay tuned to the channel, stay updated, and I'll be seeing you guys very soon. Thank you very much for watching.